This is not good. It looks like nature's trying to awaken a sleeping volcano. Lightning struck Pramo into the crater, creating a captivating picture, as if an electric tree sprouted. What if this is a sign? No one would have believed him for sure, because a typhoon usually lasts several days. But here in the video, the typhoon decided to act up a little and dissolve into the clouds. It stirred things up, as they say. No one was hurt, but the emergency services needed these couple of days to clear the consequences of nature's New Year celebration, a synonym here. Not only ostriches and turtles know how to hide, this sea anemone instantly shrinks at any signal of danger. Too bad people do not have that. You saw your boss, and that's it. I'm not here. Nummer 1. One more proof of human helplessness. Africa almost split into 2 continents as a result of an earthquake. There's nothing left to do except watch. This is what a defender means. Having a fluffy friend who fights sandy whirlwinds for you, risking his life. A real blessing. Water and pressure can be so mighty that they can make a drinking fountain out of a real huge stone. However, you should not drink from it. There is a risk of picking up bacteria. Puddles you can drown in are no longer a metaphor. These puddles reach a depth of several meters. Dive with caution. No one was expecting a waterfall like this. The sky seems to be flowing down to the ground. This is not water slides at an all-inclusive in Turkey. You cannot put an inflatable tube under your butt. But you can watch. Right now, you see how planet Earth breathes. Gases constantly come out of this spring, creating the illusion of bubbling. It looks Martian, but in fact, everything is quite earthly. There is oxidized iron around the spring. How do you like that, Elon Musk? Here is what will happen if you decide to take trash to the nearest volcano instead of a trash bin. In the worst case, nothing. But if you try to do it on an industrial scale, there will be a gigantic eruption. These giant stones almost crashed into tourists. Thank God everything worked out, and everyone got away with a slight fright. Perhaps this is a hint from nature that it is already a little tired. Harmless sea foam can flood an entire city, and not only block major roads, but also cause poisoning among residents. One of the reasons for such a phenomenon is excessive activity of algae and bacteria. Another mystery for scientists' minds. How do these trees take exactly this shape? The magnetic field, winds, gravity? Maybe you know? Write in the comments. Now you see with your own eyes how the geological history of our planet is being made. An entire layer rose up from under the ground without any earthquake. This is exactly how rock formations once appeared. No, this is not a dementor. This is murmuration. Thousands and sometimes hundreds of thousands of birds fly like one organism, frightening local residents. So just in case, do not be afraid. But it is better to hide your sunflower seeds. These people barely survived. When a piece of an iceberg breaks off, it becomes a danger not only for giants like the Titanic, but also for small boats, creating a giant wave that can sink ships. Fortunately, in this video, everyone was saved. The best artist is nature. Just look how it uses sand as a canvas, and the ocean as paint. It painted entire jungles. Icicles that grow upward. You have probably seen that at least once in your life. This happens because of a sharp expansion of water when it has not completely frozen yet. Such ice needles disappear quickly But you, especially right now, can see them even in a puddle. So after the video, hurry to check. The end of a rainbow? What about the end of rain? An amazing phenomenon that in real life you can encounter only a couple of times. Rain together with its mother cloud runs to cover a city. Road racers have a new, worthy rival. If you suddenly feel your hair standing on end, I do not know exactly where you can run in the desert, but I know for sure that such an effect happens because a lightning strike is about to hit near you or right into you. The consequences of a tsunami can be very impressive. The wave tossed the boats one after another, creating panic among witnesses. An ice tsunami. Even horror movies will not show this. Huge pieces of cracked ice sweep away everything in their path, leaving only destruction. Truly one of the scariest cataclysms. The height of such a wave can reach several meters. One of the most beautiful processes is coral reproduction. Thousands of tiny coral larvae simultaneously detach from their parents and set off on a free swim, creating a mini cosmos inside the oceans. One of the most dangerous natural phenomena almost killed a diver. The finger of death instantly turns everything living literally into an icicle. Just a little more. Fortunately, the diver noticed the danger in time and warned the others. A new contender for the Olympic Games. A fish that not only jumps incredibly accurately into a target, but also swims against the strongest water flow. Strength, precision, qualities any champion would envy. Such clouds are often mistaken for UFOs because of how perfect they are. But in fact, in any country where there are mountains, you can see this. Perfect, round, and even lit by the sunset. To me, it looks like a donut. Seeing one UFO cloud is already surprising, but seeing this number of lenticular clouds, that is something. Consider that you pulled a lottery ticket. Two of the most beautiful natural phenomena join together for the gaze of true Instagram feed connoisseurs. A rainbow and lightning. The chances of seeing this really are 1 in a million. The driver stopped in time, just a little more, and he would have been covered by an avalanche. That is the power of a premonition. Fortunately, no one was hurt, except for empty parked cars. He fulfills our childhood dream, racing straight to the beginning of a rainbow. True, he will not find anything there. The illusion dissipates as soon as you get close to it. A foam party with consequences. Poisonous snow covered the city like the aftermath of a chemical catastrophe. The authorities and residents of the city have a huge amount of work and caution ahead. What would you do in such a situation? Honestly, I would evacuate. Hail can happen on any continent at any time of year, and that is exactly why it is so dangerous. You never can predict whether your car will remain intact or whether you should have put it in a garage. A real snow queen city. An amazing winter came to a northern city and brought a winter fairy tale. There are even Santa's reindeer here. A waterspout is scary, but what about 5 waterspouts at the same time? Thank God, none of them reached the surface of the land, otherwise an entire city could have been destroyed. The scariest thing a human is capable of is destroying their own home. What is shown in the video is only a small part of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. This miracle has an expiration date. What you see in the video is the result of many millions of years of erosion and sandstorms. Amazing how balance and physics work. By the way, this rock formation is located in Saudi Arabia. Hurry to see it. A real portal to hell opened in Turkmenistan. Just look at this flame from under the stones. Everything that falls in there disappears without a trace for 50 years already. A new place where you can get rid of problems. No, of course I have seen one tree fall from the wind, but a dozen at once? Just look, all the trees simply toppled all at once. Terrifying and fascinating at the same time. How powerless a human really is before nature, if it suddenly decides that it does not need him here anymore. I bet you have not seen albino killer whales yet. Unfortunately, their life is full of difficulties because of their appearance. So attractive to people, but so repulsive and noticeable to other inhabitants. Your mom has this stone. Yes, you heard right. In the video, you see sodalite, a dark blue stone actively used in making jewelry. They simply lit it up. Try it at home. This sea bun looks harmless, but try to disturb its peace, and it will shoot you with poison. The Employee of the Year nomination goes to a volcano in Peru. It erupted for 8 years. A real horror movie in real life. Everything around within a radius of dozens of kilometers turned into just an ashy desert. There is nothing more harmless than a cowboy tumbleweed. However, if these little bushes with legs gather into a pack, they can even block an entire road. Just look at this invasion. Look closely at these paths. It looks like smoke, right? In fact, these paths are formed by gigantic quantities of insects. No, you are not imagining it. The water is truly burning. Ships desperately try to extinguish such an unusual fire with firefighting foam caused by an oil explosion. Unfortunately, this is only one of the injuries inflicted on nature by humans, just like the previous portal to hell. These adorable little ones are a real work of evolutionary art. They are not only beautiful, but also very useful. They are able to process toxins that poison the water. If you love a light sea breeze, then this video is for you. The sea wind can be so powerful that it can simply blow away an entire waterfall. Another mystery for scientists' minds. How do these trees take exactly this shape? The magnetic field? Winds? Gravity? Maybe you know? Write in the comments. Thousands and sometimes hundreds of thousands of birds fly like one organism, frightening local residents. So, just in case, do not be afraid. But it is better to hide your sunflower seeds. These people barely survived. When a piece of an iceberg breaks off, it becomes a danger not only for giants like the Titanic, but also for small boats, creating a giant wave that can sink ships. Fortunately, in this video, everyone was saved. This is not computer graphics. This is real blue volcano flame. Although very dangerous, it is such an incredibly beautiful phenomenon that happens 1 in a billion times. This is the only video available to us at the moment. If you ever see this, run, but do not forget to make a wish. If one mosquito buzzing near your ear before sleep annoys you, try 1,000 mosquitoes. How fearless do you have to be to not only not run away from their screaming, but to take a camera and start filming? Here is the answer to your question. Why do they prune trees every year and ruin the beauty? In the video, the consequences of bad decisions. The tree was simply touching the wires and naturally it caught fire. Value safety. Trees will grow back, but someone's homes no longer. The greatest video of the 21st century. A girl accidentally filmed a meteorite falling in Portugal. She will definitely have something to show her grandchildren in old age. If your girlfriend loves roses, surprise her with an underwater field of sea glowing roses. Jellyfish you want to look at and look at. If you run to a warm country, fearing a snow avalanche, then here is what happened in Iraq. A 1 in a billion chance happened to this country, and an entire beach literally flowed, sweeping everything in its path. Cooler than a non-Newtonian fluid can only be water covered with ash from a volcano. Locals are already used to it, but tourists find such an all-absorbing carpet very amusing. Forget everything you knew about fishing. Asians outdid us again. Now, instead of sitting for hours and staring at a float, they run after the fish themselves, and every time, they come back with a catch. This is definitely where you do not expect to see a volcano waking up. On a snowy mountain during snowboarding, do not follow the example of the guys in the video. In such a case, you need to run. Or, well, ride away farther. Such clouds are often mistaken for UFOs because of how perfect they are. But in fact, in any country where there are mountains, you can see this. Perfect, round, and even lit by the sunset. To me, it looks like a donut. What do you see? The chances that lightning will hit you are small, but what are the chances that lightning will strike your car? Fortunately and miraculously, no one was hurt in the car. But after that, he did not drive in a storm and did not open the windows, becoming that very complaining grandma. An unexpected guest showed up on a date. The couple was very surprised by such attention. Surprisingly, the killer whale did not attack. It simply swam away, like after a walk through a zoo. The Sahara is popular not only for its size and cultural significance, but also for its beauty. These white sands alone bring thousands of tourists a year. Not only fruit can be forbidden, but also a flower. These sea flowers cause severe pain if you touch them, and can even paralyze you. So only look, no hands. A funny little fish that decided not to choose, but to take both outfits, both frog and fish. It does not swim, but it walks. Just a little more and it will be able to pay taxes. An amazing lake that breaks its own ice. But what is even more mesmerizing is the sound. Natural ASMR from ice chips. A real miracle of physics. Despite the fact that this giant touches the ground with only a microscopic area, no one, not a single machine, has been able to move it. The most unusual way to spend time for adrenaline lovers, to run around a funnel of stones in China. Well, as they say, whatever the child does for fun, as long as it does not eat a bat. trouble comes from where you do not expect it. Icebergs not only break off, they also rise up from the very depths, thus catching ship crews off guard. If a sandstorm in a desert does not surprise anyone anymore, then a sandstorm at sea, very much so. In China, an entire cloud of sand rose into the sky, creating a giant cloud. SpongeBob's friends, transparent creatures called a sea pig. Since it lives at a depth of up to 6 kilometers, under pressure like a dozen airplanes, it did not bother much with its appearance. Why, if no one sees it? This is not just a volcano. The operator seems to be going to take a mud bath. Yes, this volcano erupts not with lava, but with boiling mud. A lucky day for everyone. Suddenly, a boulder simply rolled down the hill like on little sleds. Fortunately, no one stood in its way. You do not see a tornado like this every year. Fortunately, the driver noticed it in time, otherwise he would have just been sucked in there. Just look at this vortex. If everyone has seen a rainbow, then only a few have seen such an optical illusion. A rainbow around the sun is a real miracle. Apparently, someone had a very successful trip to a hookah lounge, because otherwise this smoke ring cannot be explained. One of the most dangerous phenomena is a sand avalanche of mud and sand, ready to sweep away everything in its path. It looks very scary. Nummer eins. Entire trees go underwater. This karst sinkhole, simply put, a collapse in the ground, can eat not only a tree, but also a car, a house, and even an entire street. If you see such clouds, you can truly get scared. However, they bring nothing except rain, but it looks as if someone Chajoy is about to come down. This pink cutie with 2 little paws is a Mexican lizard. If my girlfriend ever turns into a worm, then only into one like this. If you suddenly feel your hair standing on end, run. I do not know exactly where you can run in the desert, but I know for sure that such an effect happens because a lightning strike is about to hit near you or right into you. Apparently, the driver had a 4-leaf clover in the glove compartment. Otherwise, it is impossible to explain how lightning struck a couple of meters from him, and not him. Seeing how a sperm whale sleeps is true luck, because they sleep for less than half an hour, and their sonar is better than cats. So, if you suddenly see such pillars in the water, keep quiet. A pink river is one of the most mysterious manifestations of nature. Even though we still do not know why it happens, you can and should admire it. Which story seemed the most thrilling to you, or maybe it became your favorite? Write to us about it in the comments. Leave likes, subscribe to the channel, and watch the previous incredible episodes on the Top Facts channel.